don't stop. Brain 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 don't stop.
Hello, welcome back to Chewed Gum. It's a show about rejecting purity culture, challenging misogyny, and the effects of religious trauma on women. Today is January 13th, and lines are open if you would like to call in with a question or an argument about the topic in our title or anything else that you would like to talk about. The phone number is 720-619-2288. If you're calling from the US, and you can use the web link in the description. If you are calling from outside of the US, I'm Alyssa. And hey, Taylor.
I'm Taylor. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right.
Yeah. Okay, explain all right, because I also feel like all right. I think I feel like worse about the state of the world in the past like couple of days than I have in a while.
No, I feel like I've been spiraling because it's all I can think about. It's just like consuming me, every single
Yeah.
thing that's happening, because I feel like it's escalating so rapidly. I think that's
Yeah.
why I'm so consumed by it. And I've been consumed like by politics so many times, but it just feels so, I don't know. It feels very bad. So
Yeah. It does feel really bad. And every time I open my phone, it's like worse than the last time I
Yeah.
opened it.
that too. And I just feel like obviously I want to know what's going on, but the phone is like, oh my gosh, you can't be happy and look at your phone anymore. At least I can't.
No.
And yeah, I feel like it's worse and worse every single time I'm looking at something political, and I keep thinking, something has to happen or someone's going to do something.
Right.
And that's just not happening. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really scary.
It is really scary. Yeah, it's just not, I don't really know. I don't know what else to do anymore. It's like we're watching all of these crazy things happen every single day. And I remember thinking when I learned, sorry, the little things on my mic stand popped. I remember thinking when I was in like grade school and learned about propaganda, I remember thinking, well, that could never happen now. And that's kind of cool. Like, that's a good feeling that it would never happen now, because we can keep track of literally everything, and there's records of everything.
Yeah.
And now here we are, and we have a government that's like, we know what you saw, and also no.
Yeah, and it's so crazy that obviously people are watching the same videos and claiming to see two completely different things.
Yeah.
It's hard for me sometimes to figure out if people are really of course I think there are people who say it was justified and don't really believe that and just covering their asses, but then I feel like there are people who do genuinely think that, and that concerns me because we're watching the same thing. And yeah, it feels like we're living in two different realities, but it's been like that for a while. Especially with conspiracy theories and stuff like that. So yeah, it's trying to get us to deny reality is a scary thing.
Yeah. And I feel like more than ever, I like don't have the energy to engage with it right now. Like I have like nothing to say. I'm like, how are we doing this? I don't understand.
I know sometimes I go to say something about it and it's just like so big that it's like, what do you even say? I don't know.
Yeah. What do you even say? Anyways, hopefully we have some nice conversations today, and maybe also some crazy ones. I also hope that everyone who's watching this video likes this video so we get out to more people. We have did you notice this, that YouTube gets insanely slow in December and January?
I feel like I haven't been on YouTube long enough to notice, but I've heard like everyone say that, so yeah. I believe it.
So it gets really slow, and you can tell because we have 252 people watching, and we've had 3-4 times that on other shows. So it's just, I think, the time of the year, but this is a good time to support your favorite YouTubers, and do that by liking the show, sharing the show, by going to our patreon.com/calltheline. And that really helps keep everything moving. So yeah, for some reason, I guess like the holidays, and then people are like, going to the gym and trying to lower their screen time or whatever. And so it's just like the worst time. Like even on my own channel too, it's like,
that's a good point about the like New Year's resolutions though, that people are probably doing and trying to better themselves, which probably doesn't include watching a lot of YouTube.
I know. And I also think part of it is that when the world is crazy, the last thing that people want to do is engage with like stuff that is more inflammatory. Sometimes it actually helps. Sometimes it helps to be like, I'm actually not the only person who's concerned here. So anyway, okay, we have some calls. We actually have a bunch of calls already, which is so nice, because sometimes when we have really slow calls or slow days with calls, my eyelashes are sticking together and it's driving me crazy. Then that's a whole other thing. But guys, I'm like so out of the loop of my normal stuff. Oh, okay. This will be my last life update, and then we'll get into it. I have moved, and we are trying to crate train my dogs. I am so tired. It's not working.
You already moved. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Was it stressful?
It was stressful because of the dogs, and it still is stressful because of the dogs, because they're not wanting to.
Are they having trouble adjusting to the environment in general?
They're actually okay. Like, they're mostly okay. Like, the apartment is pretty quiet, and they like going on walks and whatever. It's that we're trying to crate train them. And one of my dogs is 14 and a Chihuahua, and she's literally never successfully done anything that I asked her to do. And now and the other,
she's like, I'm too old for this. I'm not doing that.
I know. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, no, and you're right. And I'm wrong. And then my other guy, my little boy, is 4, and he's He's great, but he has really bad separation anxiety. He's the one we're really doing it for because he gets like a little crazy town. But anyway, so if I sound tired or seem tired, it's because I am. Because
That's rough. I hope they adjust soon.
Me freaking too, Taylor. Me too. And if anyone has any advice on crate training dogs, you let me know. Anywho, okay. Any other updates or things you want to share before we get into it?
Oh my gosh. So I told you about my guinea pig.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
On my one, so we went with all three of them, but we went for the one because she was acting kind of different, and we found out she has a giant mass on her, which she hides very well because she's chunky and she didn't lose any weight, and so we just didn't see it. But she's getting surgery on Thursday, and I'm really nervous. So because smaller animals don't do good with anesthesia, so I am hoping it goes well, but I'm just super nervous because they're just small, fragile. They're just so small and fragile. So, but her blood work came back good, so I feel like she has a good chance. And because she isn't super skinny or anything, she has a lot of weight to her. That also helps.
So. How long is the procedure going to be?
I don't know. My husband is the one who scheduled it, and I had all these questions, and he's like, I don't know. So I'm gonna call them tomorrow because I'm like, is she staying overnight? How long does it take? Yeah, I got nothing. I'll find out soon.
When is the procedure?
Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll be crossing our fingers and toes and all things for which guinea pig is this? What's their name?
Opal is her name. She's the one I've had the longest, but she's still only 3. So we decided to do the surgery because they can live to be like 7.
Yeah.
8. So
yeah,
maybe if she was like really old, we wouldn't, but she's still pretty young.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Pets are stressful.
They are. It's like, it's in these moments, I'm like, if I love having dogs and I always think I'll have them forever. But then in these moments, I'm like, and it would also be really nice to just like not have the emotional burden of them all the time, but I love them so much.
I know. And then I feel like I hate getting attached to pets that have shorter lifespans. And I'm like, how long am I gonna be able to do this? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay. Well, good vibes for Opal. I'm sure she'll be okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so we have some callers. We have a few theists actually. And do you have a preference of which we take first?
They're
kind of similar vibes, actually.
Yeah, they are. How about the one from Italy?
Okay. All right, let's bring in Francesco. Hi, Francesco. Can you hear us okay? If you can hear us, you might need to move your, like wake up your computer if you're using a web link. Francesco? Signore?
Can you hear me?
Give us any sign of life.
Oh, wait, I think we hear you. Hello? I thought I heard him for a second.
Sad.
Okay, Francesco, if you could hear us, call us back and we'll take your call. We'll take your call right after the one we'll take right now. Because we can hear you, but give us a call back and we'll take your call. Okay, well, we have another deist, Tim, who's calling from New York, actually. So let's pull Tim in. Hi, Tim.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm off work, so.
Oh, love that for you. What do you want to talk about today?
Go ahead. So, my argument is that men arguably have it worse than women, and for me, like, I'm going to focus on one thing within United States society, and that's the fact that the majority of males are circumcised at birth. And I don't think that women go through anything that's comparable to that at the same rate.
So not everyone is circumcised. It's not like a medical necessity. And I think that we are sort of turning a corner on, it used to be that people would talk about circumcision as being a thing that was like a hygienic requirement. And I think that now we've turned a corner on that. And so no, it's not required, essentially. But I would also say that every person with a uterus will have a period, and when they have a period, the pain is has been compared to the pain level of a heart attack. And we do that every single month. And we do that every single month of our adult lives for years and years and years. And we still have to go to work, and we still have to, you know, if you have kids or dogs or whatever, we still have to do all of those things. And so while I do understand, and like, it breaks my heart to think, anytime I can hear a baby or an animal like crying, scream, whatever, like, I just can't take it. So like, I understand and I empathize with that. And I also think that there's way more that goes on for women, especially because the pain threshold for women is not taken as seriously. A good example of this is when women get an IUD placed. The standard has been, and for many practicing doctors still is, no real pain management. You take something like Advil. Usually they tell you to take Advil 2 hours in advance, or an hour in advance. And then they end up using a tool that is sort of like pinchers like this, and it's metal, and it pierces the cervix, which is really, it's an organ, an internal organ, and it kind of shimmies it down a little bit. So they're able to place the IUD in this really tiny pinhole. And so I think that
you mean the IUD birth control device, correct?
Yes, which obviously people opt into, but people opt into circumcision as well. And also with circumcision, you're a baby and you don't remember that pain, where when people are getting their period every month, that's something that they have to deal with every month, their adult lives, and still have to go about their everyday tasks. We don't get like days off for our period. And then also the IUD placement is another one. There's lots of other examples of how pain management is not the same for women, but I just yapped for a while.
Is it fair for you, when you're talking about periods, to say something that's just your body natural is comparable to society, the medical industry, the parents of society, the government sanctioning a practice that mutilates the body of the majority of the men of the United States without their consent, and there is new science saying that they result in brain changes in the babies that permanently affects them for the rest of their life. And if you watch what one of these things is like, it's like they're cutting into a baby while he's screaming and bleeding, and I just don't think the average woman is subjected to that by society.
What about the fact that when there are strict laws on abortion, we have women who are dying due to that? They don't have a choice either.
Okay, well, I'd say that's a good point. How many women are I mean, at the end of the day, the majority of places you can still get an abortion, right? Correct?
Of states?
I am not sure right now.
Mm-hmm.
Of states? Was that your question?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I don't want to get into it necessarily big time about a victim Olympics, but I mean, just to say, in my opinion, to say, oh, the society is just looking out for men. We still have a practice that was, and you mentioned hygiene practices, but the reason it was implemented first was to reduce masturbation. So it is a sexual, a purity, not a purity or a anti-sexual procedure. And in addition to that, you were mentioning it was for cleanliness. It was kind of like a post hoc justification that they've used.
I think that the reasoning for circumcision to me is kind of like, I think that some people even do it just for aesthetic purposes. So like the reason why people do it varies. I think there is a big movement for people not circumcising their children because they don't want the pain associated, and they understand that there's no like benefit to circumcision. So I think that we're on our way to, you have the choice. You've always had the choice. That they don't automatically do that for you. They'll ask if you would like the baby circumcised. And you don't have to say yes. And I don't think it's the kind of thing where like a doctor will pressure you. I don't know that for a fact, but it doesn't feel like something that like medical folks are pressuring parents to do. So I mean, I think that part of it is, while I understand your points, that's also something where you can kind of like personally advocate for people around you if you feel like, oh, did you know that actually this is not necessary? And this is based on a practice that's based on information that doesn't really hold up anymore, whatever that is for you. But I think to compare the plight, not to do like victim Olympics, but to compare the plight of men and women based on a procedure that happens before the person is able to really remember it, feels misguided, because we have so many examples of women experiencing real significant pain through procedures, through natural things that happen every month for us. So, and it's not uncommon for women to go to the emergency room with symptoms of a heart attack and get told that they're having an anxiety attack and sent home. So healthcare for women is a big problem, and slowly things are starting to turn around a little bit, but there's so much that is unfortunately stacked up against women, especially in the healthcare category, that I don't think an infant having a circumcision is enough.
Also, I want to add that in the United States, our maternal mortality rates are really, really bad. And that I feel like seems pretty huge. And and I do think that things like patriarchal systems hurts men. I agree with you on that. But also, because it's patriarchal, a lot of medicines, procedures are all tested on men. How the safety of cars and seatbelts tested on men. Everything around anything involving safety or health is focused on men. There's a lot of things that women, there's a lot of things in our country that women could probably benefit more from if there was more research into it or more focus on women over men, but that is still not there completely, obviously.
Mm-hmm. What's your opinion on women's success in college recently? I think they've surpassed men overall in college graduation. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, women are earning more bachelor's and master's degrees than men are in the United States. But I think it's like 49% to 51%. Like it's pretty close, but they've just now outpaced women or men. I mean, I don't really have too much of an opinion. I'd be curious to know what men are doing. Is it a situation where there are fewer men enrolling or finishing in general? Are they deciding to take up trade school instead? Like where are they going? Or is it just there are more women who are wanting to be educated? But I don't really have too much more of an opinion. I mean, people can get whatever education they would like. And I'm happy for the people who are able to have that be accessible to them.
Also, with the way our country is going right now, it doesn't shock me that if there were less men interested in college because of people in our government and like influencers and such will say that college is a scam. And I feel like men are more likely to listen to that than women probably are.
Mm-hmm. Personally, and there's a lot of things I agree with you with. I expect you not to agree on this, but I think that there's somewhat of an unwelcoming environment to men, or I think that maybe it's become a little bit tailored to women and the educational experience, and so
how is it tailored to them?
Personally, I think they're tailoring things more so to women.
How? Can you give me an example?
Well, for instance, I mean, classes. I mean, you'll have classes on women's studies and whatnot. The culture of college. Can I point to anything exactly tangible? I'd say it has to do with the culture. I just think that it's shifting towards incentivizing female behavior.
I'm not seeing that at all. Especially just because there's a class on gender or women's studies or anything doesn't mean anything. There's classes on so many different things. And there's also classes like philosophy, for example, where I think every single person you learn about in that class is a man. So I don't know. I don't agree. And I feel like the fact that you can't point to something specific that makes sense, I feel like you're kind of going based off of vibes, but I don't think it's a reality in my opinion.
I actually wonder, Tim, if what you're and this is sort of a reach based on what you've given us, but I'm curious if you resonate with this. It is common in the conservative conversations that going to college makes you liberal, and there's liberal conversations everywhere, and it's infecting all of the youth with the woke mind virus type language. And I'm wondering if that is a connection that you're making here and identifying it as being appealing to women because it is, it can be a more liberal environment.
Well, I mean, that's not like a big point for me, but I mean, more women are liberal than men, so that would be one factor, right?
I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure. But in any case, I think that there is sort of like Taylor said, I think you're just kind of going based off of vibes, because the other thing that's interesting about college is women were not allowed to go for the longest time. So it's only recently that women are permitted onto college campuses and able to go and learn. So it's so recent. And even, even while it is relatively recent that women have been allowed to be on campuses and enrolled in classes, there have been gender studies classes in schools. Someone mentioned it in our chat. I wish I could remember the name, so I'm sorry. I would credit you if I remembered. But there have been gender studies courses in colleges for like 30 years. That's not new. And like Taylor said, every other, like when you take a history class, you're gonna hear a ton about ooh, Taylor just lost power. Holy moly. All right. Well, it's just me right now, Tim. I'm sorry.
Dolo.
Yeah. Anyway, but you hear so much about men and their stories in every other course that you take that it's sort of like the only time that you are guaranteed to hear about women is if you take a women's studies or gender studies course. Otherwise, you kind of don't learn about women. And for so much of history, even achievements that women had are were taken by the men around them. So I think that's I don't think that that's true. Um, I think that there's just more women who are able to enroll, who feel encouraged to enroll.
Hmm. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that I don't see a lot of prominent women in like literature I've read in school. I'd say maybe not in, for instance, in literature, like maybe when you read older books, they won't necessarily be in a leadership role or like an explorer, but there were different gender roles, so women had different positions, but that doesn't mean they didn't have prominent places.
Sure, but do you really believe that the majority of people that you learn about, just people you learn about in school, do you believe that the majority of them are women?
I believe, to be honest with you, I didn't think about it. I haven't thought about it um, so much. Um, do you think that that effect that impacts you? Does that cause a not an inferiority complex, but do you think that could lead to that? Is that what you're like? What do you think that that leads to?
I just think that when we're trying to nail down why you feel that colleges are catering more to women, I'm trying to figure out why you feel that way. And you had mentioned that there are women's studies courses. And so my response is that every other course that you take in college will be referencing men more than
Mhm.
women pretty consistently. So I don't think that having one class on women's studies outweighs every other course that you take that will far and away present men far more often than women.
Okay, that's a good point. I'm not even necessarily against the idea of college being majority women, female. Um,
Hmm.
uh, Obviously, that will change society if more of the intellectual capital is women, and but I'm not necessarily against that. Um, one last point I want to get to is what do you think about the idea that the education and early careers makes it difficult for women to have families?
What do I think about education and early careers? Well, I think that we're experiencing a time where women have true choice. And so they don't have to only have a family as their primary lifestyle. They have the option of going to school. They have the option of being at work. They have the option to have kids later in life, whether you're gonna like do IVF or freeze your eggs, or just you can push your those years to your later 30s or your 40s or whatever. We've been able to afford women that flexibility and that privilege. Um,
Mhm.
I also I also, I think that giving people the option is important. However, we also are in a place where it's really hard to have a single income household. So many women are working because our economy is not really in a place where it's going to be very easy to have children. Like I have a fiance and we live in this apartment, and by no means we both work full time, and by no means are we, for many reasons, but partially financially ready to have children. Like that is a huge investment.
And is it making it harder for women to have kids in a marriage, or are they just doing it later in life?
Well, there are scientific studies, from what I know, that the health of the child is better off when they have children in their late 20s or early 30s compared to their 40s or their 20s and their early 30s, from what I've read. So is it a concern for the health of our children?
That's true of men too, by the way. Men who have kids after the age of 35, their sperm quality also degrades. And so they contribute to pretty significant increases in lots of different health complications. And, it's much more common for men to have children later in their lives than it is for women.
I personally also think this is only a problem if that's what you think is so important. You know what I mean? For me, I don't think that's super important for people to be having kids and for people to be getting married.
Okay. I don't know. Personally, I think marriage is sort of, it's a social contract, which means it's like a social construct. So I don't necessarily think that's super important, but I don't know. I like people, and I like people to continue to go on. So I think people should have children and families. And
I genuinely
also, sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Is there maybe something to, obviously, women want to have a choice, but wasn't there maybe something to, the man being able to work, and we had structured, our economy was structured, and things were structured where the man could just work and the woman kept the home. And is there something positive to that?
I mean, there is some positives as far as, I guess, if that is what the person wants. Yeah, being able to survive off of one income instead of two, I would say, is a positive. But that comes with a lot of things, because it's not just that. A lot of that includes making it, when things were like that, women didn't have a lot of choices, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, do you think that there's not some kind of coercive, I don't necessarily coercive, but you open the gates to something, okay, now you have rights. So now a large swathe of women all at once say, okay, we're going to focus on education. And there are societal forces that, push women now more towards education, and say, for instance, early women who have children early are shamed.
I think that there's always going to be people who are going to have families and have children. The people who are going to decide not to and instead focus on their careers and on their educations in lieu of having a family are always going to be a minority. So I wouldn't worry that we're going to have like a population decline. It's not going to happen. And part of what's important about women being able to work and have an education is because it gives them the ability to have autonomy. When women were not going to college, when they were not working, they were also trapped in their marriages. And so should there be any reason why they needed to leave, how were they going to do that? They don't make money and they're not educated. So it's important even for that reason as well.
And when you're oppressing a group of people, don't you think things are going to maybe go to the other end of the aisle for a while, because they're like, hey, we have rights, we can do X, Y, and Z, we want to explore those options for ourselves. because my
Mhm.
my grandmother or whatever didn't get those options. And
Yeah, absolutely. I think.
go ahead.
I think that's why I'm saying maybe there was an over. I don't want to say put negative connotation, but maybe there was an overcorrection where there could be more if there wasn't such a excitement of a new thing, that there would be more women doing this and doing that, instead of just you open the floodgates and all the women say, I'd rather forego a marriage and children to pursue education solely.
I think the number one thing that would encourage people to have kids is a better economy and feeling like they can afford it. I hear constantly that people cannot afford it. That, and number two, they're afraid to bring a child into this world that we have now because of who is in power. And I have multiple friends in my life who do not want to have a kid right now. Like, ideally, they would be, but they're like, I'm not doing this right now because of everything that's going on. So I don't, and again, that to me leads back to patriarchy of trying to push so hard for one thing that it becomes scary to people.
You mentioned the economy, but don't wealthier countries tend to have fewer children?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure.
From what I've heard or read, I think that wealthier countries tend to actually have fewer children. And I don't know if that reverses at some level of wealth, but so I think those were the main points that I wanted to get to. I appreciate it. I think that if one sex suffers, then the other sex will necessarily suffer as well. So that's why I don't think you can necessarily have, oh, I have it better, or you have it better. I will say, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so you genuinely believe under a patriarchal system, men have it worse than women, even though they are controlling most of it?
Wait, are you saying? No, I said that if one sex is suffering, then the other sex will suffer as well.
I know, I'm talking about the original thing you called in with about basically how men have it worse than women.
So you said under a patriarchal system, you think that I think that men have it worse than women?
Yeah,
I mean, there are some ways that. Okay, go. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I'm asking, do you genuinely believe under patriarchal systems like we even still have now that men are suffering more than women, even though they created the system?
Did men create the system? I mean, for instance, if you're at wartime, I think men have it worse. I mean, that would still be patriarchal, so I don't think necessarily.
Depends where you're
at. There are
ways
things could go where your life would be worse. Yeah.
Depends where you're at, though. What if you're a woman and you have soldiers coming into an area you live in? There are times where I could argue that's worse because of what they do to women during war.
Sure. I just don't think necessarily. And regarding families, I'm sorry to jump around, but I will say I was raised by a single mother, and I had, a father who paid child support. And I look to, like, my father, his family growing up, like, he had a nuclear family, and they were by no means perfect, and they had a lot of the problems with, interrelational violence and, or just emotional abuse. But there are some things about his childhood and having many siblings, because they were together, they were able to have a large family that I envy. And I think when it comes to like family or community structure, it's easier when you have families in the community.
I understand you saying that, but who exactly is it easier for? Because I look back at women in my family and I don't envy them at all. Like at all, because they, in my opinion, had it the worst. And I've had people in my family tell me, don't do what I did, which is getting married very young and having kids very young. And the cons of that and how it really destroyed their life. So it's interesting to me that I'm not saying families can't ever be happy or weren't ever happy, but I think it's easier for men to look at those situations or big families and having all of that stuff. And it's easy for you to say you want it. I don't think it's easy for a woman to come to that conclusion for a lot of reasons.
And like, do you think that it was necessarily the majority of women felt like that throughout history? They couldn't stand their lives.
I think ultimately it doesn't really matter, because the whole thing is that women and everyone should have a choice. They should be able to choose whether that's a life that they want to lead or not. And we're not going to get to a place where, the population declines in such a significant way that we're in trouble. It's just not going to happen anytime soon. And so I think the fear that you're feeling is, I think this is good news that it's probably not so. I think you don't need to be so scared about it. But I will say I understand, and I have conversations like this pretty often with men about how they have a really hard time dating and finding women who are wanting to have relationships that end in getting married, having a family, etc. I've heard that plenty. So I do understand that and like can be empathetic to that in some way. But I also think, again, it's more important that people have the choice to be able to have the life that they want to have.
And I also want to mention that one of the top reasons people are getting divorces in this day and age is because women don't feel like men are contributing as much as they are, because they have the old mindset of you're supposed to cook and you're supposed to clean while they're paying 50% of the bills, while they're having a job because they have to. And that's why I think it's easier for men to say, oh yeah, I want kids, because there's a lot of invisible labor going on that they don't think about, that women do think about, and that is put on them, even if they are paying 50% of the bills, because of a conservative mindset of you should be cooking, you should be cleaning, that is a woman's job.
But I could counter that can go the other way as well. Women sometimes expect the men to pay and things like that, but they don't necessarily do the chores. I mean, so that can go both ways.
Yeah, but your topic was about how women are going to college and getting an education and working. And so, if that's the position that you're taking, then if both people are equally contributing to the home, then both financially, then both need to be contributing to the home in other ways as well, like doing chores and whatever kind of stuff that needs to be done around the house. That can't also be that can't also be the responsibility of a woman. And I also I heard a survey earlier or at the end of last year about people who are single, 2025 singles, and the the younger generations are more likely to split costs of everything. So the new trend leans more towards splitting the cost. And I think that part of that is because we understand that the economy is what it is. We also understand that, women are also working. And so we are on a much more equal playing ground, although there still is a wage gap. And so that's not totally true. But the trend is to split the cost of dates and things like that.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. But I will also say, don't you think that women more so than men have a preference for men with money?
There are some women who have that preference, and I think that again leads back to the patriarchal system that we live in and the ideas given to us.
Okay,
But
my belief. Okay.
I just want to add this really quick. Statistically, though, people date within their education level and the amount of money they make. So it's more likely that two people with two bachelor's degrees get together. It's less likely that a woman's just going to find a super rich guy and get married. That's way less likely than the other.
Mm-hmm. But don't you think that women are more status attracted than men, and a man can earn his way or educate himself to a higher echelon more so than a woman can?
Well, so in that same survey, the quality that both men and women placed as the top quality that they look for in a partner was honesty. In that same survey, they found that men prioritized looks more than women did, which I thought was interesting. I think with the financial part, we sort of like butt heads on the point that Taylor was describing, which is if you are looking for a traditional home where the guy is working, the woman is at home taking care of children, taking care of the house, and that's her priority, then she needs to be looking for a man who can make enough money to support that lifestyle. So do you want that lifestyle? Because if you do, then you can't have a problem with women prioritizing the income so that they can have that lifestyle. If that lifestyle is not a priority to you, then you can date whoever you want and work it out however you please. But you can't have it both ways. You can't blame women for wanting a financially stable person.
I personally think some of it is biologically inherent. But so I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I just see how there's problems when you're at a crossroads, like you said, where you thought, women or men expected the chores and the woman to make money, and I would say it goes the opposite way too. And I do think like society is correcting for some of that stuff.
Which thing is more common? Which thing is more common?
Which thing is more common?
Yeah.
I think from your perspective, you would say it's more common for men to men to expect women to do the chores and still make money. But I think that women definitely still expect men to pay on the first date. I mean, absolutely. So I think they're both probably very common.
To me, there's a difference between wanting a guy to pay on the first date and women who just want to find someone who makes a bunch of money and not have a job, which I would never suggest to women anyways.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I think you're right about that. And one last question. Do you think that when we're talking about like the traditional family and lifestyle, do you think that evolved in such a way that men were just forcing it on women, or do you think it was was interdependent relationship?
What do you mean by that? Like they both need each other equally? What do you? I'm kind of
Not
confused
necessarily
about that.
equally, but I don't possibly equally, but they both need each other in some way. Did you think that's how that evolved, or do you think it evolved by men forcing it on women?
It's really impossible for me to know that, I feel.
I think that it's a little bit of both. I think that there was a societal standard to have families because that's just, what you do. And I think that as the human species has evolved, there have been other options of things to do. So you can get a job or have lots of hobbies or whatever. You don't have to, your one priority in life does not have to be having a family. There's lots of things that you can fill your life with. So I think that part of it is that there are more options available to people. The other part of it is women were not able to even get a credit card until the 70s. So they were not able to do things like have a mortgage on a house.
And birth control.
They were not able to get birth control. Like all of these things that did make it coercive, because once a woman has reached adulthood, what is she supposed to do? What is she supposed to do? She can't move out on her own out of her parents' house. She can't get a credit card. She has no credit line. That was the only way you leave your parents' house is if you got married.
Yeah, I mean, well, they could have built a cabin in the woods. I don't know.
I mean,
without the benefit of a man, you wouldn't have a man to go out and work, but you could build a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, but the reason you're in that situation in the first place is because of men telling you can't have a credit card, you can't have property, etc.
Well, you could go before credit cards. I mean, women did have property in early America.
How would she be able to build a log cabin in the woods? Because she would have to, at a minimum, buy tools to cut down a tree, and she can't be earning money like that.
I think some of that would come down to, preferences between men and women, but I think that a woman benefited from a man's work, and then a man benefited from a woman keeping the home and having the children. So I think it was an interdependent relationship.
How
That's my opinion.
Are you saying that like all of the things we benefit from today, as far as, I don't know, technology and really anything else we have, are you saying that's what men have contributed and then the women have contributed taking care of the kids?
I'm sorry. What are you asking me? I'm sorry.
Are you telling me that the men contributed the technology and everything we have now, and the women contributed taking care of their kids?
Oh, well, women still wrote literature and stuff in the past. I mean, there's other things that women
I have
did.
a question. Why do you think they don't have women written down in history as to discovering a lot of things or coming up with a lot of things? Why do you think that is? Do you think it...
Well, so do you think without... So when you talk about discovering things, you think that without gender roles in society, like women would have been equal in terms of like explorers?
Yes. You just said that when you're talking about women doing better in college than men currently. So absolutely, yes. They're just as capable, and we know this.
I think absolutely some of the disparities in that would come from physical differences. I mean, what you had to go through to sail across an ocean.
The whole like biological pinning one gender versus another. Literally every time I've had this conversation, the way that it always ends is by saying something along the lines of like, well, men are biologically stronger than women, and so you need us. And I think that's an interesting point to land on after talking about how women are getting educated and working and prioritizing themselves and their lives, and is affecting men's abilities to have family. So I don't know. It sounds like you guys need us just as much as we need you. So I think like that, talking about the biological like strength is just, I think it's a cheap shot. And I think that there are plenty of women who are able to physically perform better than some men. Like it's just a generalization that doesn't hold up across the board either.
Also, I want to say with families, a lot of people were having families because women didn't have another choice. And so men were lucky in that way, where they could get a wife pretty easily. Now, men usually have to bring a lot more to the table for a woman to want to marry them or have kids with them, because they have the choice. They have those choices of getting an education and fending for themselves and stuff like that. So maybe if people want to see more children, men should just rise to the occasion and be able to, make their lives better and add something to their lives, because again, we're no longer dependent on them, so we don't have to be with them.
Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily disagree with any of that, and I don't disagree that absolutely some women can be stronger than some men. I mean, but there's physical difficulties when it was something like an explorer. I mean, you mentioned periods, that would make that a lot more difficult, wouldn't it?
But in modern day,
women don't get days off for their period. Women go to work every single day. You can't guess who, if you were to work at any job, you would not be able to guess who was on their period and who was not.
Also, I want to say in modern day, something that is very valued is intelligence or education. So now that we have evolved to that point, don't you think we will just evolve in a different way because we're not dependent on men anymore? Because that's not the most valued thing in the country currently?
I think to a degree. I think that women still have physical preferences in men that will drive that not necessarily to happen so much, that physical things won't matter anymore, because like I said, women have physical preferences towards men who are stronger and taller oftentimes. So
yeah,
not necessarily just because it's counteracted by that.
Men prioritize physicality more so than women do, based on survey information that was taken last year. They prioritize physical appearance more. So, I don't think that really matters. But I want to move on to some other calls, because we've been chatting for a little while and we have a whole bunch that are waiting. Okay. But
thank you. Would you mind if I call back again?
Yeah, anytime.
Thank you. All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. We were on that call for 48 minutes.
I need Tim to call when I'm on so badly. I am screaming.
I know. It's that topic in itself is so overwhelming that it almost, I can't, because somebody said this. I heard someone say this the other day, and it's so true, that men wanting to have kids is like wanting to adopt a puppy.
Yeah.
To them. That is how it is to them. And it's so easy to be like, I want a big family. I want this, I want that, because they don't understand what it takes. Genuinely. To them, it's going to work, making the money, coming back. That's it. Which, most of us have to do.
Every guy I've ever dated was like, yeah, I want to have 6 children, 7 children. I'm like, are you fucking insane? And I'm so glad that I have my dogs, and that like I moved into my fiance's apartment with the dogs. So it like shakes up what his everyday life is. And I think that it shows you I mean, it's a dog, it's not a human being. And it shows you like the level of responsibility and even just the brain space that you take up when you're taking care of another living thing.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what it's like with a
Yeah.
child, with a human baby.
I know. It is so frustrating to me when it's so easy for men to be like, yeah, yeah, I'll have a baby, sure.
Right.
It's like, yeah, of course, because
Of course.
you don't need to, your life isn't on the line. You don't have to grow a whole human in your body.
Yeah.
You're like, these are typically the people who aren't responsible for all the laundry and the dishes and the like actually raising the child. So, yeah, of course, that's an easy decision for you. And it's easy to look back at past men in your family and be like, yeah, I wish what I had what they had. But my thing is, again, because women have options now, they have higher standards. And if you're somebody who is a partner, a good partner, you're not going to have an issue because you're going to bring something good into their life. If you're not able to bring anything besides a paycheck, it's going to be harder for you because they're no longer dependent. They no longer need you. They have to want you. And I think that's an issue for a lot of men. I'm not saying Tim necessarily feels that way, but that's the vibe I get when people kind of complain about that kind of thing.
Yeah, I read a book over the summer about just men, masculinity, that kind of stuff. And one of the things that they talked about was how for the longest time, men measured their value through the work that they do. And so now that that's no longer an option, now you're reconsidering what your value is to everyone else. And men are not really like taught how to do that. Women are because we're taught to, you know, be personable and nice and contribute and to the household and to friendships, whatever, build community, like that stuff that is so ingrained in our experiences in a way that is just not really for men. It's you're encouraged to get a really great job and to be able to support, you know, a family.
Right.
That's like the traditional thing. So I don't know. I always kind of like feel for men in these circumstances, but also like
at the same time, I'm like, I don't think that you have a clue. And I'm not trying to be condescending. I think it's hard for them to get a clue sometimes because it's hard. It's hard, obviously going to be impossible for them to fully understand. So
yeah,
there's always going to be that gap.
Yeah. All right. We have our first caller, Francesco. He did call back, so I'm going to pull him in. Francesco, if you're listening to this now, make sure that your web link, like that you're waking up your phone, so that we can talk to you. Francesco, can you hear us? Francesco. Hello.
Make sure you aren't muted or something. I don't know. I don't know what could be.
I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Okay, there you
now
are.
We do.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Damn.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Finally. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Before my phone died, so it was out of option.
That's okay. That's all right. What did you want to talk about
yes,
today?
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
I believe that
wonder
there's
if-
a lot of delay.
Yeah, I think there's a big delay. This is a very big delay. This is like a minute-long delay.
Okay, I want to talk about a bit of the same things about before, like masculinity and how I believe that it should be brought back because it's sort of dying.
In what ways?
I wonder if the delay is too much.
Yeah, I think it might be.
I think the delay might be too much. Francesco, I think because the delay is so long, we have so much dead space that if you're okay with it, maybe call.
I have to start with a bit of a preview. Do you believe that it is right to like
I don't think it's going to work. Somebody said this in chat that they don't think he's listening through his phone and maybe like responding from watching it. I don't know, but
I don't know. I feel bad. I'm gonna drop him, but I'm gonna just drop him and let him know. Hopefully he's listening. Sorry, Francesco. The delay was so much. There's no way we'd be able to have a conversation like that. But hopefully you can call back. Maybe like restart your phone or something and see if that helps, or restart your network and yeah, see how that goes. All right. So, okay, we have a couple more calls in the queue. Do you have any preference of which you would like to take first?
no, not really. I'm fine with whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna take 8-4. I think because that's different than what we've been talking about.
Okay.
Hi, Halo. Halo.
Hello.
Maybe
what
it's
is happening?
Maybe it's us.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
No.
What is happening?
Go ahead and pop them back into the queue real quick.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Well, we'll wait for a little bit. Francesco also wanted to have a conversation about masculinity stuff too. And the prompt that we had for him was that masculinity should be incentivized. So I think it would have kind of ended up being a similar conversation to the one that we were just having anyway. And we were talking to that other gentleman for so long that I think, that's okay. We'll get him next time.
Okay, try again.
All right, let's see. Halo, we're going to pull you back in. Okay.
Hi, hello. Can you hear me all right now?
Yeah. Do you hear us now?
Yes, I hear you.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. Thank you for being patient. All right, what did you want to talk about today?
So, since my last time calling, I've made changes. I put myself out there more, and I've made some friends, but there's kind of been an internal debate between us. Mm-hmm. I was wondering if you can weigh in on.
Okay, sure. That's fun. I love a debate among friends.
So, it's regards to recent studies and polls are showing that Gen Z is going to become more, prudish when it comes to sexual behavior on television and movies. And, well, I think that's a good thing, but they don't think is a good thing. First of all, what are you guys' opinions on purity culture? Because 99% of the time I'm against it, but do you think that there's ever a situation where it's good?
I wouldn't call when it comes to showing or shows or movies being really sexual or not, I'm not sure if that's always connected to purity culture. It was funny because I was just watching a movie the other day and I was telling my husband I could go without these 5-minute long sex scenes. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. And I've heard a lot of people say that they're not really interested in that when watching a regular movie. So I don't know how much of it is that and how much of it is some kind of conservatism. I don't know.
Wait, my sound froze for a little bit. So what is Gen Z wanting?
So
Like,
I've heard, I've seen and heard about studies have been showing that Gen Z is a lot more prudish or against explicit sexual behavior or actions in films and movies.
I saw this also, that they are not super down with watching like sex scenes either. Um, I think it's interesting. I think that there's a part of it that I wonder is related to how inundated we are with very fast, digestible content and entertainment all the time. And I think that people are looking for something that is a little more meaningful, maybe. And I think that sometimes a sex scene is more closely, it feels like when there are sex scenes, a lot of times they're not necessary. It's just meant to like make it salacious, and it's just not, we don't need to be doing that. And I think that there's going to be a shift in, and there already is a shift in the way that the type of art that we want to consume. And it's not going to be like that sort of like cheap hit of let's put a sex scene in there and let's, although that show Heated Rivalry is really is really
I think another point is like, what type of show or movie are you watching? Because there's some where it's implied, like that is part of, like a big plot of it or part of it. And then others, I feel like it feels unnecessary because what part does it have in the overall story? And I agree with somebody in chat who said it feels like they're overdoing it. And I also want to add that people feel the same way about rape scenes and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, we all agree that sexual assault should never be explicitly shown because the implication is good enough if you're not an idiot.
Yeah, I agree. And it also, I think that people are now starting to see past the part of using sex and sexuality to make a story, to give a story depth, where you could build a story with depth without it, but it's easier to you know, throw a sex scene in there and make that like sort of the big salacious part of it. So I don't know. I it's interesting. I don't think that it's like a purity culture thing. I think it's just a sign of the times in terms of the kind of entertainment that we're wanting to consume, and I think it's a good thing. Which
it's a good thing, just more scenes, or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing that people are they don't care for graphic sex scenes, because I think it's just going to give variation in what we see. It's kind of like, I have this conversation with my fiance all the time that music being created by AI and sounding just close enough to being like real-ish, especially with categories like, did my thing just get dark? My lighting is so weird. Especially with categories like country music, because country music can be like a little formulaic, and it's pretty easy to make like an AI country song and make it sound like a real country song. What the thing that's actually kind of exciting about that is it's going to push artists to deliver in a different, more creative way. And so it's exciting to see where these categories of music are going to evolve. And so in a similar way, I think that the youth, if you will, wanting to shift away from graphic sex scenes or having sex be sort of at the center of the entertainment that they consume means that maybe the storytelling will become more creative or just more interesting or different, because that's not really a tool that people are responding to so much. But again, there's that show Heated Rivalry, and people love that show, and it is very sexy.
I feel like when it becomes an issue is if they were sending messages, as in, I don't know, you know what I mean, like slut shamey messages or something like that. I think is when I would see it as a problem. But in general, I don't.
Yeah, like I wonder if Euphoria came out now, if it would do as well as it did when it came out years and years ago. I don't know.
So the argument my friends gave me was that it's kind of needed more now, in their opinion, because it's a symbol of rebellion against the this Christian conservative culture that's been taken over, and to express things in that way is basically to defy the status quo and denying and going. Sorry, you go.
I was just gonna say, I think you can do that without the long sex scenes, just by the message and the like relationships or messages in the movies or TV shows. I think that can be done regardless of the amount of sex scenes or whatever is in a movie or show. But I get what you're saying.
Do you think? Yeah, my argument was that, well, if the majority of our generation is saying no, they don't want this, and then is that not how it should be? Like what the majority says?
Mm-hmm.
And me personally, I don't like that at all. And so it's refreshing to see like horror movies these days almost never have sex scenes anymore. And
yeah, I think if they want people to obviously be interested in what they're putting out, maybe again, depending on what the movie or show is, they're going to adapt to what their audience wants.
But do you think it's bad to be against sex in movies? Like that's like a conservative position.
I'm not against sexual scenes in movies. I just don't like how often it is. But like I said, there are shows and movies that's part of the main thing is sex or sexual whatever. So I'm not against that. I guess I don't really like it when it is put in a story, a movie, a show where it's not necessary. It could very easily go without it.
A big one would have been the Eternals movie. That felt pretty unnecessary.
What's the movie?
The Marvel Eternals. There was a sex scene in the movie, and I thought that was really unnecessary. Right?
I've never seen it, but I believe you.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it either. But but I think that this, in terms of like art and creating stuff, I'm happy that people are like asking more from the art that they're consuming and the entertainment that they're consuming. I do see what you're saying though, that having having any sort of resistance to this Christian nationalism that we're experiencing right now is really helpful. However, I don't know that sex and stuff in movies really does it. I guess like to some degree that show Heated Rivalry is full of sex scenes. That's all I'm sure there is a plot, but all I ever hear about is the sex scenes, and they're really intense. I've seen like little clips of them, but I haven't watched the show yet. They're intense. You're seeing butt cheeks, and it's real. And it's between two men, and it's been a tremendously successful show. So I think in that circumstance, it has other meaning because it is rare to see two men having sex in a TV show. That's really what it is. It's like having a gay relationship be like mainstream TV like that.
I also feel like they're upfront with it. So the people who do want to see that kind of thing are already watching it, if that makes sense. That's like anybody who watches something like 50 Shades of Grey knows what it's going to be about. Like, and a lot of scenes like that. So I think things like that are perfectly fine and should stay the way they are because, that's a type of movie or show somebody wants to watch. It's just when it's in things that I feel like people aren't really there for that. I don't know.
Okay. That all makes logical sense.
Yeah.
So, but do you think that this big shift in explicit material is linked to the rising, conservative tide, or
It's
is
a
it
great question.
some other thing?
It's a great question. I really am not sure.
Part of me thinks it might be, but they haven't really cracked down so much on entertainment necessarily. Like if they were, I think like heated rivalry. Oh my God, I just said heated rivalry. Heated rivalry would have been taken off the air a long time ago because it's like because it's like so much about sexuality and it is a gay relationship. I think that would be like the first thing that they go for, but I think they're not so worried about the entertainment stuff. But I think it might be, I don't know. In some ways, I think that people are returning back to a little bit more of like a wholesome content. Not that entertainment that involves sex isn't wholesome, but I think that the world is so overstimulating and so every day, we were just talking about this earlier, every day I open my phone and I see something terrible. So all I want to see when I'm watching entertainment is something silly and something light and and that could, maybe that's also part of it, is it's people are wanting to watch something that is wholesome and light and whatever, but I really don't know.
How can sex be wholesome?
How can it or why can't it?
How can it be wholesome? That doesn't link in my brain.
If it's like, romantic and whatever versus like, something very graphic, maybe that feels not so wholesome. That's just my theory. I have no idea.
That's all I really wanted to talk about. Also, last caller talking about men wanting women with kids and kids wanting kids. I think a part that was missed is that a reason why men can't find women who want kids is because the kind of women who would want kids wouldn't want a man who would want kids. Their personalities are usually the exact opposite.
Yeah.
You think, right?
Yeah.
I think that could be a thing.
I think so too.
Like most men who want kids are usually pretty impulsive and aggressive and all that stuff.
I think the men that are specifically like women need to be having kids. Yeah, I think that's not something that typically attracts women to them because it's kind of like you're saying it like it's so easy. I feel like it's different if a man does want to have kids, but he understands what that really means and how much goes into that. So yeah, no, I agree with you to an extent.
I think it also when there are men who are finding a partner and they do it from the lens of I want to be able to have a family, sometimes it feels a little like a breeding situation. It feels like you're being like, it feels like a puppy mill. And
especially in Christian communities, they're so like that.
Yeah. And then it's like, does it even matter who I am? Because you just want to be able to have a family. And that's a weird thing too. And so, yeah, I wish we talked about that actually with Tim, because that I think is a part of it as well. And also at the end of the day, you could meet a person, decide together that you want to have a family and some complication and you can't have children, or like you also want to make sure that you're picking a partner that you can withstand the stress of having children with. Like the partner that you choose is so important. And so when people are just prioritizing having kids, I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that, because who you have the kid with is really important.
Yeah, I have nothing more to say or add. Sorry if this is short.
Well, thank you so much for calling, Halo, and thank you for being patient while we figured out our phone stuff. And enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Thanks, Halo. Bye.
Bye. All right. That was fun. Oh, I need to read our shows for the rest of the week. So I'm going to do that right now because I forgot to do it earlier. So tomorrow we have the hang up at 6 p.m. with me and Matt, and that'll be really fun. I like doing shows with Matt. He's so crazy sometimes. I know
wait. He actually intimidates me so much.
No,
I've never met him or talked to him, but yeah.
The real tea about Matt is he's a mush.
I'll believe it when I see it.
You truly like have you done a show with him yet?
No. Okay. I don't, not sure if I should. No, I'm sure, like, I'm not saying, I feel like he's like a cool person and cool, but like, I don't know. I'm worried that I'm not aggressive enough, and maybe, I don't know.
Well, it sometimes it could be a good cop, bad cop thing where like it ends up, you end up balancing each other out.
True.
But it's also just, he's a fun person to do shows with because he's done it for so long.
Yeah.
That he like really knows
it's like
how
second
to like
nature.
Yeah, and he like cuts to the chase every time. And so you really like zip through these conversations and get to the meat of it in a way where like I'm not so good at that yet, but you know.
Yeah.
And he also like he doesn't give a fuck. Like he will say
I know.
what
I
like
know.
you know. And he reins it in now sometimes, but he's at like he's for the amount of years that he's done shows like this and had conversations like this, you can tell by how quickly he hears a conversation and he's like, absolutely not, and shuts it down.
Yeah, and honestly, not giving a fuck is kind of inspiring to me sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I like think what he does is bad. It's just intimidating because, you know, I also wish I could do that sometimes, but it's hard.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, we can all learn from Matt, and I'll tell him that tomorrow. So yeah, we're gonna do the show tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central. TACIS 2 p.m. Josie and Riverboat Jack. What a fun name. That'll be fun.
Riverboat Jack.
Riverboat Jack. Okay, hell yeah. 16, 17, 18. Okay. And then the Sunday show at 1 p.m. with Matt and Promise. And the 7 p.m. Sunday show will be with Forrest and Justin. On Monday, we'll be back with Skeptalk with Forrest and Erica. I love a Forrest and Erica combo. And then that brings us to next Tuesday, where you and I are back. And, you know,
yay.
Yep, Tina Aguilera all night long. And what else? Oh, if you are not a part of the Patreon, go to patreon.com/calltheline and sign up to be a patron. There are lots of different tiers with different benefits, but it supports not only this show, but it supports all of our shows and the whole channel. And I was talking about this earlier today, but the December, January, I think even a little bit of February are really tough months for YouTube people. So if you happen to have a little extra to spare, please give it to the line. Because we're going to be a little bit perhaps on a struggle bus and until things level out when people stop going to the gym and start watching, which will be probably February. And also, I don't have my mug brawl with me. It's in the kitchen, but
I forgot to.
Yeah, go to linemerch.com and you can look at all of our really fun mugs. They are limited. So if you are wanting to add to your mug collection, this would be the time. I think Jimmy's mug is winning the mug brawl right now. His is really funny. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
It's like it's Jesus with the hole in his hand and he's looking through it.
Oh, that's creative.
I can't remember what the text is on it, but it's really funny.
I need to look at it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, there's lots of really fun mugs on there and just really fun merch in general. Jimmy yesterday was wearing a like zip up hoodie and I saw it and I was like, what is that? And he was like, it's merch. We have it in the store. And I was like, what? It was like yellow and it had the line on it. It was really fun.
Dang, I need to get some merch.
I know. I was like, damn. So anyway, go to linemerch.com, get some line merch. And that also helps support this channel and make sure that we can keep doing this forever. Oh, the competition part of the mug brawl is over, but you can still get the mugs. Thank you so much. I think that's all for announcements for now. We have a few more calls and then we'll get to super chats. I didn't say super chats of $5 or more. We read at the end of our show. So if you want to send in your super chats, be sure to do it in advance so that we can read all of yours. All right. You ready to take another call?
I'm ready.
Do you have a preference?
Probably just the person who's been waiting the longest.
Okay. Let's pull in Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Hi.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello. I am good. How are you two?
Good.
We're good. We're chilling.
Chilling.
Is this our Sarah? Is this Sarah Talks podcast?
It's everyone's favorite caller, Sarah. Yes.
It's our Sarah. Okay. I love. Okay. What did you want to talk about today?
Well, thanks for taking my call. So Alyssa, I know we talked about this in email, and I really like what you said about sex being like play and all like about exploring. And that's really helped me in my current relationship when I'm having sex. But I also have noticed it's very hard for me to orgasm sometimes. And I'm just wondering if I'm like doing something wrong. Is that normal? And I know this is more of an Alyssa question than a Taylor question, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay. I will tell you it's not abnormal at all. The average amount of time that it takes for a woman to orgasm is 8 minutes, which is it. Maybe that doesn't sound like that much, but 8 minutes in the actual sexual experience can feel, it feels like a long time. The other thing too is there's a whole thing about like a woman's orgasm is so mysterious, and that mentality of like it's so hard to give a woman an orgasm is also sort of damaging because it gets in our heads too. And the one thing that will pretty much put a break on being able to orgasm is worrying if you're going to, or worrying about like, how close am I? Am I going to do it? It's like that whole conversation in your head will take you out of it, and it's like never going to happen. So the best thing that you can do in those moments is stay connected to what you physically feel. It's what am I feeling right now? What am I noticing right now? And it's so normal to have your mind wander too. Like that is really common as well. And even like for me, like my mind wanders all the time. I'll be like in the midst of it and then I'm thinking about shit, I forgot to order that thing for the dogs or whatever. And you have to sort of like rein yourself in and be like, what am I feeling? What am I noticing? I have that conversation with myself constantly. And it's really helpful, and I think it'll be helpful for you. But the other thing that might be helpful is to, in your head, kind of take the orgasm off the table and just enjoy what's happening, because you can still have sex and enjoy the experience without the orgasm being the finish line for you. And the purpose of doing that is just to take the stress away from the situation. And over time, you will you'll feel more comfortable, and it'll probably feel more accessible to you. Also, someone in the chat said toys help too. Toys do help as well. Can't go wrong with a toy.
Okay, that's a great suggestion, whoever said that in chat. I tend to not read chat because ADHD and I get distracted. But I will definitely go back and watch this after. And I appreciate the insight because I do notice that I get in my head a lot, and I'm like thinking about so many other things, and I just need to be in the moment, and focusing on how I'm feeling in the moment versus like, oh, I forgot to do this thing, or like, am I doing the right thing or whatever, like, because that's not going to get me anywhere thinking like that. So
yeah, you just have to not be so stressed about it, and it'll be more likely to happen if you're just not so fixated on it.
yeah. Well, that's all I had. I don't know if Taylor has any input, but
I feel terrible whenever somebody asks me this, but I genuinely don't, because I'm pretty much asexual, so I feel bad anytime someone wants me to contribute to the conversation, because I'm like, oh, I feel like I can't, but good thing we have Alyssa.
I just feel bad because I'm like, I don't want Alyssa to just like be dominating the conversation. I wanted to give Taylor a chance.
Oh no, I love hearing her advice. So,
well, and also I love when we have conversations and Taylor gets to contribute to people who are like deconstructing or whatever, like people who are, because that's not like I had an experience not being a part of a religion anymore, but I didn't have like a deconstruction in the way that you did. And so that's kind of the, like, I love that that's the balance.
We bring different things to the table.
Yeah, totally. And that's, that's what this show is all about. All right, Sarah, thank you so much for calling. We'll see you in the chat and call back anytime.
And one last thing. Alyssa, I am planning on moving to LA very soon, so we need to meet up and hang out because I need to meet you in person because you're cool. So
keep me updated. Wow, that is so exciting. Okay, fun. Okay, great. Well, yeah, definitely keep me updated and let me know when how that's going, and we'll go get like a coffee or something and hang out, or an ice cream. I love an ice cream.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, have a good rest of your night. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Sarah.
All right. Bye.
All right. We love Sarah.
She's so sweet.
All right. Oh, you know what? I think this will be actually a very good Taylor call. So we're going to pull in Mitch calling from Australia. Hello, Mitch.
Hello.
Hi, Mitch. How's it going?
Good. I've been listening to the show for a while, and I apologize if I get really nervous and freak out. But yeah, excited to talk to you.
Oh, yay. We're excited you called. What do you want to talk about today?
So it's an issue that I've had for a while, that, like, obviously you read the prompt that I put in there, that like this religious poison in my brain. It's the instinctive thoughts that pop up for me because of all of the things that I just kind of accepted without questioning. I have become more skeptical and like thinking for myself, but it really bothers me when I have these thoughts that pop up that I know that they're from, my parents or my Christian school and everything, and I tried not to hate myself for these thoughts that pop up, but if I see
Oh, did we lose you? Mitch? Oh, maybe move your phone around and wake it up.
am I back?
There you are. Okay. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. Where did you lose me?
The last thing you said was when I see, and then you dropped out.
Yeah. So like when I see say like two men kissing or something, like I know that I shouldn't have a problem like with gay people, but I just have like this instinctive feeling of like gross. And I get mad at myself for that thought popping into my head. And and like not just in terms of like sexuality, but like, you know, racism and stuff. That just, I get these instinctive thoughts that have all come from like conservative ideas and religious upbringing and everything. And I mean, apart from just years and years of therapy, what do you have any suggestions on what to do about
that? I feel like it's kind of hard to say because for me personally, it was having relationships with people of different sexualities and different genders and everything else. So that is when it wasn't even like everything changed for me when I started having relationships with people different than me is what I'm trying to say. I don't know, other than maybe making an effort to get to know people who are different than you. That can look like a lot of different things. I think it is then easier to just escape what conservatism or Christianity has told you, because you get to see firsthand that these people, whoever it is, aren't what they say they are.
What the hell?
And I know that because I've had my own experiences. Does that make sense?
You dropped out. No.
Is this me? I did?
Okay, so Alyssa might be frozen and the caller dropped, but you and I are both here.
Oh, okay. I see it on my phone now. I am on. What is happening? Have you had any issues on the other shows?
I mean, it happens periodically.
Yeah. Well, yep, that's my advice for anybody wondering. On the screen alone again. Is she back? Okay, hi.
Hello.
We both dropped out at random times tonight.
I know. Something is happening.
It was funny when my my house just completely went black and I was just sitting there staring at the screen. I was like, and I was scared it wasn't going to turn back on because for some reason they do that periodically in my area. It's so annoying.
Okay, sorry. So I don't know what I missed, guys.
Well, the collar dropped.
Oh, the collar dropped too?
Yeah.
What is going on?
I know. I don't know.
Do you know how sometimes occasionally like everyone's cell service gets funky and it's like something is weird with the satellites or whatever? It feels like that's what's happening today.
Maybe.
Why is the Wi-Fi being funky everywhere? Oh,
I do not know.
Mommy. All right. Oh, I think Mitch is coming back in. Yes, he's coming back in. So just to recap. Oh my God, no, I'm yawning. I'm so sorry.
I did that earlier.
Oh, just to recap, he was talking about how to scrub his brain of all the religious and conservative stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Should I wait till he comes back on to repeat my?
Yeah, I would. He's in the screening room, so he'll be on in just a second.
I'll ask him if he heard what I said because I'm not sure if he did or not.
Okay. Oh, there he is. He's ready. Okay, we're gonna pull him back in.
Hi, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch. We both lost internet. I don't know what the heck is happening. Oh, do you hear us, Mitch?
that? Okay, hello? I think I'm back.
Oh, there you are. Okay, great. Hi.
Mitch, did you hear the last thing I said?
No, I was talking. I was waiting for a response and then realized that I was disconnected.
Okay. So my thing is it's kind of hard for me to say in this situation because for me personally, I was building relationships with people who were different than me. That's when all of my conservative beliefs, and I was like in my early 20s, changed completely. I'm not even really ever sure if I believed a lot of it either, as far as like stereotypes and stuff like that. But it's really, I feel like it's the best way to get rid of some of those biases, because you're experiencing different people than you firsthand, and you're not just going off of what other people say about them, which can obviously be very untrue and very bigoted. So my only advice would be to maybe try and talk or build friendships with people who are different than you, and diversify your friend group or community, or just people you interact with in general. I don't know if you already do that.
Okay. Yeah, I like the idea of it, but I also have pretty extreme social anxiety, so that's difficult for me. But yeah, I guess one thing to address at a time.
Right.
I think also it might be helpful to just expose yourself to movies or TV shows where there are characters that are gay or whatever, experiencing a lifestyle that is different than yours. Sometimes it's even helpful to watch shows where there are characters who are gay, and it has nothing to do with like what their storyline is in the show. And
Yeah, like
that
it's
can
an
be
aspect of the character, not just what they're about.
yeah. And I'll ask the chat for suggestions, because of course right now my brain is like completely blank. But yeah, just exposing yourself to that kind of those types of relationships can help just like normalize it for you. So if you're not used to seeing it, then it might just be nice to like make it feel more regular and normal with the content that you're watching. Oh, Mitch, we can't hear you. I don't know if you need to wake up your phone.
Yeah, no, my phone keeps going to sleep.
Oh, there you go.
If I ever get to the point of not being terrified of meeting new people, then I'll try that. And until then, I'll just try and watch media with new people in it.
Yeah. I see some suggestions in the chat now of The Owl House, Brokeback Mountain, a classic, another show, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. There's lots. So I would just I would take a look in the chat. So and get some suggestions of some things that you can watch that just give you a little bit of exposure to different relationships.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
I think as much as like you can do I remember once a long time ago, a therapist told me that anxiety doesn't follow logic, and they're like not related at all. And so in the same way that when you feel anxious, you can't just say like, I'm feeling anxious over a person or over a situation that I don't need to feel anxious about. Why can't I turn this off? That doesn't work. So I think even in this circumstance, in your brain that it's fine, but there's like a little bit of like normalizing that you can do to make it feel more regular. And so, Modern Family.
Yeah.
Modern Family is another really good one.
I know, I was about to say someone put that in the chat. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh yeah. And the guy's name is Mitch.
Oh my God. Oh, look at that. Okay. Yeah, definitely check the chat. There's so many in here. So many good ones.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I suppose it's just repeated exposure over and over again, because again, I know that like I don't feel like I really believe this, but it's just this instinctual thought that pops in that it just makes me feel sick.
I think that'll also go away with time, honestly, but I guess I'm not sure of everyone's experience with that. But I feel like since you're aware of it, time will also really help with that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you, Mitch. Have a good night.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Bye. All right. We are also going to be directing at the end of the call towards Jimmy's show, which will be happening in about a half hour. So that'll be exciting. So hang tight after our show. And I just want to see how many super chats we have. Because I want to make sure we leave enough room for super chats. And see if we can take another call before that. But I just want to we're just going to double check.
I think you certainly have time to take one more call.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Every now and then we get a lot and then it takes a while. Okay. So let's pull in what I think will be our last call of the night. We are going to speak to Mental.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello? Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How's it going?
Oh, it's going all right. How are you?
Good.
That's good. We're hanging. We're hanging in there.
Another thing I wanted to just mention for Mitch, another way of exposure therapy I feel is to actually do some research on it.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. That's a good suggestion. Hopefully he's still listening and he caught that. So what did you want to talk about today?
Well, I noticed that the title, it was like Christianity is bad for women. And and myself, I am atheist. But I thought I heard something at one point that said that sorry, that marriage marriage was actually like designed in a way to also help the woman in the marriage as well. And so I feel like in that sense, Christianity was good for women as far as Christianity being good for women can go.
I feel like it really just depends on what you take from the Bible, which is hard because Christianity is obviously such a broad category. So it's not impossible that there are ways Christianity has helped women in certain situations, and then obviously there are ways that it caused a lot of harm. It's impossible for me to know how many pros and cons there were throughout history. Because I get asked this question a lot, like, do I think Christianity did anything good for our society? Realistically, probably some things. I don't know exactly what it is, and there are a lot of cons, obviously, in my opinion. But yeah, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to say which things are attributed directly to Christianity, and then again, it's such a broad thing that somebody could decide to be an amazing person because of Christianity, and somebody could decide to be an awful person because of Christianity. So
yeah, absolutely. It's insane how it can like contribute one way or the other like that. Also, I noticed someone in chat saying Christianity did not invent marriage. I'm aware of that. And I hope I didn't imply that they did. But
no,
I'm just saying the way that they like phrased it or like they used it, I guess. Because I heard something about how, like, way back when, right? Women were property, and they didn't have much of a purpose other than being a housewife. And so it was like marriage was designed, like Christianity designed their marriage to be in a way that would try to protect them in, like, because it would, like, ensure that they could still live a life. Whereas if they couldn't, if men could just toss them aside whenever they felt like it, then they wouldn't be able to really have any sort of life.
Yeah, I do
That
get what you're
sounds so
saying.
messed up, though.
No, I get what you're saying, but I have a couple issues with it when I talk to Christians, which is, if the Bible is the word of God, why was it so specific to the time period? But I mean, we know why, it's man-made. But second off,
Oh yeah,
whenever it comes to consequences to raping a woman or harming a woman, it's all because men don't want their property to be damaged. It's never about, oh, we want to protect this woman from being raped. It's about damaging another man's property. So that's why I just think that it is a product of its time. Obviously, I think it's wrong, but I think they were doing what a lot of the world was doing, unfortunately. So I don't know if what they were doing in Christianity was much better than anywhere else, to be honest, because I think a lot of communities probably did that. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think for the most part, it wasn't like that much better than anywhere else. But the thing I was thinking that it protected them in the sense that they can't be just divorced that easily.
Right.
Like divorce, it wasn't a thing back then, right? And that's the part that I think protected women. Because if a man just decided, oh, you know what, I don't want her anymore, like, what's she gonna do?
Well,
like,
I also
don't get me wrong.
I think
the
about
way,
that. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, women were treated so badly before. They were treated like possessions. Like, that was never gonna change back then, yeah? So it's like Christianity, there was like one good thing that helped them. Like the one good thing. And that was that they couldn't so easily be divorced and be left with nothing.
I think that
like no way to provide for themselves. And
yeah. Well, but what's interesting about that is women not being able to provide for themselves is a result of, a patriarchal standard that the Bible definitely upholds. And not being able to divorce could be really great, but it also could be not so great. Like if the husband is abusive or they're not happy even, but they have to stay together. So it like all things in the Bible, it feels like, there are some people who are Christians and, like Taylor said, use it for good. Like they're able to take really good messages from the Bible and it helps them be more charitable people or whatever. But there are also so many people who will weaponize the Bible. So, yeah, I think in some way I agree that it is, it does create a structure of a family, but I don't think that it's so like airtight like that. Because the other thing too is men could just cheat on their wives, and they would, and they have for centuries and centuries. And so, they can't very easily leave their wife, but they could also do whatever they want. So, and I think women are still treated like property or wives are treated like property in the Bible too. There is some, I think some good around like the conversations and language around like the Virgin Mary, that kind of stuff, and female saints, I guess, like that kind of stuff is nice. But there's plenty that's also not so nice.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like, don't get me wrong, I am pretty much against like practiced theist religion. I am more or less like not okay with that. Like, I mean, everyone is free to practice their religion however they feel, but I just don't think it's really good. But the question was if Christianity was bad for women, and I think overall, yes, it is. But if Christianity wasn't there, how different would it be for them?
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to know. I can't even begin to conceptualize it because of how integrated it is in everything. Religion in general, it doesn't just have to be Christianity, but patriarchal religions. I have no idea what the world would look like without them. It's hard to say.
Well, I imagine
we've
that
never experienced
with
it.
or without the Bible. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I imagine like the patriarchy would always be there. Probably just because like before they could even like communicate with proper words, it was just they had fallen into that sort of like role, I imagine. And then at some point it just became like an ego thing and men superior, you know? And I imagine that would never have changed. That would always be like that, like it is now and all that sort of thing. But the way I saw it is that like I don't support like religious practice like in that sense. But the only good I saw was that like because they couldn't provide for themselves. And like way back when, that kept them from like being just thrown out like trash and being unable to provide for themselves and unable to live for themselves. Like, obviously, it would be better if they were never seen as property to begin with. But the way I figured is if Christianity wasn't there, they would still be treated just the same, if not worse.
My thing about it is, though, I do think that patriarchal religions have almost certainly kept patriarchy maybe longer than it would have been, because when you claim to have divine knowledge from God, or you say this is what a higher being wants, it's not about me, people are way more likely to not question it and say this is what we should do morally. And that's why a lot of like authoritarians use religion, because they get to say things like the highest being possible, this is actually what they want, and I'm just following what they want. It's not about me. It's easier to dismantle systems when it's just about the personal gain of the people upholding the systems versus telling everybody this is a divine command and this is about morality itself. Yeah, but that's just my opinion on it. I can't know for sure, but that's just what I have from what I've experienced. That to me seems like, yeah, patriarchal religions have definitely been a way to uphold these systems for longer and a stronger way to do it.
Oh, but there were. Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. The religion, I think only at one point near the beginning, it could have helped women. But after that point, no, it definitely was detrimental to everyone, not just women. I think that it also limits men as well.
Right.
But mostly, of course, I believe it was women that were like suffering the most and still are suffering more. But yeah, no, it definitely has made it so that way all of these issues, all of these like almost primitive things from back then are still going fairly strong today. And I believe that is because of Christianity and other types of theist religions. Like, don't get me wrong, I believe that without a doubt.
I do agree with you, though, that obviously sexism, racism, being homophobic, that stuff exists without religion. But yeah, just like what I said, it just creates a stronger vessel for it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I hear you. That's true. That makes me wonder if probably in the long run, it would have been better just that it wasn't around to begin with. Even if it did that one helpful thing that I mentioned, and even that's like, it's not even significant, all considering. It was the one good thing that I would think would be for women. But was it worth what the harm it's doing today? I wonder. I'm beginning to wonder.
It's also hard for me to imagine a world without these religions, because I feel like it's such a human thing to want the answers of what happens when you die. Is there an afterlife? What's the meaning of everything? Humans are always asking themselves those questions. So it almost feels impossible to me that religions wouldn't be created. But
oh yeah,
it would be interesting to see what the world would look like if different types of religions were the ones dominating the planet versus the patriarchal ones. Would definitely be I would love to know how that would turn out.
Sorry?
Well, is there anything else you wanted to add to this conversation?
No, not really. But like, except that I agree, like I believe that's how religion of all forms came to be, is because there were questions that couldn't be answered. They couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And so they,
Right.
eventually stories came up, and yeah, that's how it happened. I do believe in that strongly. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I had. But I have something to think about now too.
I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you. I
Thank you so
appreciate
much
you
for
guys
calling.
having me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your night.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Also, someone in the chat said, Alyssa, wake up. I'm up. I'm tired because we're crate training and it got dark, which means I'm sundowning. Also, I have to pee so bad.
If you need to run, you can before we do super chats.
No, it's okay. I can wait.
Also, you're used to it being like 3 hours later. Like for your body, it's 9 o'clock right now.
Yeah.
I know. I keep forgetting that I probably am a little bit jet lagged still. But what are you gonna do? All right, super chat time. So if anyone wants to get super chats in, get them in now. $10 from Alyssa Nguyen. We called it the Second Civil War, then the Eugenics War, and finally just World War III. It ended in the eradication of 600,000 species of animals and plants and 30% of Earth's population. Global suicide. Is that what's happening right now?
I think it's a quote from a book or something.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That feels like that's what's happening right now.
$5 from Alyssa Nguyen. That quote has been echoing in my mind for months, and sometimes hearing/reading/writing the words makes me tear up or cry. We should know and do better. Yeah, but instead,
yeah,
we are here.
We're here. We're here. $5 from Melatonin Ale. Crate training dogs, lots of treats. Don't only use them when you leave. When you're home, use it as a trick and give them a treat when they go in. Yeah, that's a good idea. We've been trying to entice them to go in. I haven't thought about using it as like a trick when I'm just hanging out in the house. One of my dogs is like so scared of crates. So I got him one that's like a soft crate, and because I tried to crate train him when he was a tiny baby, and he screamed for like 2 hours, and then I gave in, and now he's like traumatized of crates, and he's just like a big baby in general. So I got him one that's like more closer to a playpen, and and he already went up and sniffed it. So
we have progress.
But that's a great suggestion. I'll do that as well. Thank you.
$10 from I can't see the is there atheist, a word
atheist mechanic.
The corner was blocked, so I didn't know if there was a word before atheist.
Oh, okay.
All right, the atheist mechanic. I saw Seth Andrews' channel, The Thinking Atheist, got nuked by YouTube. I'm not sure there's an answer, but how do we keep this space from getting nuked too? When did that happen? I was seeing that in the chat.
Today, okay.
Like it just got taken down completely, or like demonetized, or what?
It's like gone. If you go directly to the URL of his channel, it just says it's not there. So I don't know if he got hacked or if he got reported or something. Yeah, we're working on it.
Oh my god!
I hope he gets it back quickly.
That fucking sucks. Yeah. Wow. $10 from Meg801. My 10-year-old Boston Terrier had 2 tumors removed yesterday, and his breed also is a high risk with anesthesia. So I get the nerves. Sending love, all of my love, to you and your little guinea pig, Taylor.
Thanks.
Meg's hair
Thanks,
is
Meg.
so cool. Thank you, Meg.
$5 from Alice and Dr. Pepper, who enforce the idea that all babies should be circumcised. Also, the husband stitch exists, which, oh my gosh, I wish I would have freaking remembered that.
Me
Damn.
too. Shit.
And
I'm so mad.
And did we even bring up the fact that men do that? Like, men were the ones who did the circumcision thing or created it? Did we even bring that up? If not, we should have. Damn.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Thanks, Alice.
You all had a monumental amount of really good examples to choose from. And yeah, you did a great job. Even if you forgot a couple, like, you got it covered.
Okay, good. $5 from Eroist. I don't know. Absolutely hate this call. This could have been a call of solidarity and condemning all violations of bodily autonomy. Instead, he made it a competition. I know. That's what I was saying to him. I was like, if you want to advocate for sharing information about, like, why circumcision isn't necessary and why you can, then do that. Like, I don't think anyone would have a problem with you advocating for that. But to
say that's worse than, I don't know, that's crazy to me.
It's also like, why do you need to make it could be a bad and hurtful thing, and women can also have bad and hurtful things happen to them. It doesn't need to even be
right.
So yeah, I agree.
$10 from Arden. I don't even know how to say that. NHA. I'm going to echo my last sentiment of the last Russian hook or convention I attended. This show has so many great streams. Consistently great show. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, what is happening?
How are you? Oh, there you are. Are you okay?
Can you go? Okay, there. Okay. I don't know what is happening. Okay. $10 from Greenman Dave. Fun fact, the Bethlehem Female Seminary, later Moravian Seminary for Young Ladies, was established in Germantown, PA in 1742 as the first school for girls in the colonies. Wow.
Wow.
I wonder what they taught. Like, I bet it was like sewing.
Home ec.
Yeah, exactly.
$5 from Alice and Dr. Pepper. Tim, just say that you want to return to the 1950s. We are waiting on bated breath. It honestly sickens me to listen to you just plabber on. #TimCell. It does very much give those vibes. Like, let's just go back to the 50s. And it's like, well, 50s was good for you, I guess, but not for a lot of other people.
Yeah. And it felt like it, and I don't know this. I don't want to like talk shit about Tim, but it felt like it was one of those things where he was having a hard time dating, and so he's looking for all of the reasons why women need to change type beat, which is the conversation that we have all the time. At least he was chill and nice about it, I guess.
Yeah. $5 from Meg801. Tim, referring to the running of an entire household while also raising children and basically parenting their spouses as chores is offensive, TBH. I just, again, not to be condescending, I just think a lot of men do not think about all of that because they're not really raised to be honest.
Yeah.
I just saw a great post this week about someone's grandmother and her experience of getting a washing machine, like, for the first time, and like the grief of how much time and how much of her body was lost because every week she had to put her hands in caustic chemicals and bend her back to wash the clothes. And like, I had never thought about that, like the overwhelming burden on women before all of this stuff became like machine handled is crazy.
That's so heartbreaking. I can only imagine what that's such a unique grief to have. That's so, oh my gosh, that's horrible.
The dishwasher was also created by a woman for that reason. I wonder who made the washing machine.
Yeah. Who did?
$9.99 from David Emmanuel 1234. Awesome. Alyssa and Taylor are my favorite hosts. You guys own these right-wing, fresh and fit, whatever podcast watching Andrew Wilson wannabe simp trolls. Keep rocking. That's great. I love it.
I hate the whatever podcast. I think I've never hated a podcast more or a piece of media more in my life.
Yeah. They're just such fucking weenies.
They are weenies. That's the thing, is like they're not even like they're weenies.
Yeah.
You said it the best way. There's nothing else to describe them. $10 from the Fuzzy Logic. YouTube terminated Seth Andrews' channel. The Thinking Atheist, yet the fucking whatever show and Fresh and Fit are still here. Right. Remember that next time a Christian claims they're being oppressed. Yeah.
Right. I will say also, I was thinking about this a lot, about Christian oppression a lot when we were driving across the country, and the amount of billboards that I saw about Jesus.
Yeah.
It's insane. The amount of just absolutely ginormous crosses.
Or just flames being like, are you going to hell?
Literally, I was like, this is you for people who genuinely think that Christianity is being that Christians are being oppressed, that they're being prosecuted in any way. Be so fucking for real. Come on.
It's delusional.
There are Super Bowl ads for Jesus. £5 from Mystic Mind Analysis. Today on the line, Tim wins the gold medal in Olympic mental gymnastics with a side order of biological essentialism. Fun times.
Oh, yes.
That's awesome. Oh, Monkey a Typewriter also put in the chat the Ween Ever podcast. That's fun.
$5 from Joshua Everett 9887. I always laugh at the couch riding weirdos who think they could take on a woman equally in professional boxing or MMA. Yeah, that whole thing of like the average man thinks he can. It's always something like take on a bear or take on a professional, like a female professional, whatever it might be, is so funny to me.
It's also just so misguided to when you're going down the list of things that you have to offer people or offer women, and the main thing that you can offer is your physical strength, and that's it. How different is that from this entire mess that we've created out of men only valuing themselves based on the money that they bring home?
Exactly.
This is another, at some point you will not be able to, like, whatever, fight off a bear or build a house because you're going to get old. And then what?
Yeah. Exactly.
I never understand that argument. It's so stupid. $4.99 from Juju Penguins. That's funny. Tim, what the fuck? Women literally birth children after 9 months of growing one. You think they couldn't explore or sail on a ship? Get the fuck out of here, my dude. I know.
They're just not capable, guys. $10 from John McCarthy 7195. Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. $5 from Space Barbarian 3484. I don't want kids. Humans are boring. Growing AI or uplifting elephants sounds more interesting.
I'm gonna be somebody with a ton of animals. I just need a house.
Yeah.
And I'll rescue all the guinea pigs.
Are you in an apartment?
A condo, yeah.
Okay. It looks like a house. So I'm
good.
shocked.
Don't ever look at my blinds, though. They bother me so much. I'm still working on this.
Oh my God. I don't remember if this is me or you.
Oh, I think it's me. $10 from Darian McCleave. Marie Curie only got the Nobel Peace Prize because Pierre refused to accept his unless she got one too. It was her discovery, but being a woman disqualified her from recognition. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I also wanted to bring up to him is one of my biggest pet peeves is when men say, well, look what men did all of this. Like, men are the reason we have X, Y, and Z. And it's like, you have no idea about the women who contributed because they never got any kind of recognition. And it just doesn't click in their head. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I know. $5 from Joshua Everett 9887. I found out today that multiple U.S. attorneys resigned rather than pursue charges or investigations on Renee Good's widow for links to extremist groups. Okay, well, I mean, I guess.
Wait, what?
So there is no investigation into the shooting of Renee Good. Instead, they are choosing to investigate her widow to basically try to claim that she's a terrorist.
Don't get me fucking started. I've been seeing all the fake stories about her wife, and it just pisses me off. And there was a fake, what is it? Fake, like a mugshot of Renee Good too. All this shit comes from X, which isn't surprising at all.
Yeah, the fake rap sheet.
Yeah.
It's so bad. This whole situation is really exposing how bad every layer of this administration is.
Truly.
So bad.
$10 from Salty Seattle cyclist. Joining late, a severely emotional man tried to attack me on my bike ride today. I should have told him to call Chewed Gum, huh?
Oh my God, are you okay?
Attacked you?
Are you okay? That's crazy. Jeez. Oh my God. I was fighting that off. I'm sorry. 10 Canadian dollars from Sad Tech Geek. Thanks for making me a better man, ladies. Oh, that's really nice. Thank you for being here. It's really nice.
We have a $5 super chat from Psilocybin, who I have to say, man, if your comment gets deleted, you're not like smooth by putting it in a super chat. We don't allow comments on our hosts or producers' appearances. I do not want to be sexually harassed at work. Thank you.
Period.
$5 from Ali Shauna Silverbow. I missed most of the show because I was late. Speaking of, it's ironic that if you're late to your optometrist appointment, they can't see. Funny. I'm going to run and get Opal because someone wanted to see her. So just read the next one. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay. $10 from Lil Eepy Girl. That's me. I'm so eepy today. Just trying to keep calm in this crazy times. I will celebrate all the small things like celebrating 3 months on HRT. I'll take joy in the small things. Oh, yay. Congratulations. 3 months on. That's awesome. I hope you're feeling wonderful. And yeah, try and celebrate little things as much as you can. And truly, like every day feels so stressful. So what?
It's a potato.
Hopefully the person's still here from earlier, but dude, look, she's where is it? She's a little bald right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, baldy.
They shaved her.
Oh my God, she's so cute.
And so chunky.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
No, I read this one. Oh, now it is your turn.
$5 from I can't this. Arn something. NAJ. It's just you. Oh, look, they described it for me. Shortened version of my name, Nathan. How would you pronounce that? Arnd. I hope I'm saying that right. Thanks, I appreciate it, Nathan.
Thanks, Nathan. Oh, you have a cute dog in your picture too. $10 from Mr. Boricua 10. Great show this eve. Great balance between questionable and relaxed. Tim should learn how to not look at everything through the lens of his own backside. Dude, what about women having equality is bad? Yeah, I know. I know, Tim. It's always weird when we have someone who calls who's like nice and chill, but what they're
saying outrageous things. Yeah, I know.
Is like crazy. That's always so weird, which was kind of the Tim vibe that he was bringing to the table. Thank you, Mr. Boricua.
$5 from Sarah Talks podcast. Forgot to mention in call that I'm graduating with my master's soon. Proof that women can be educated. That's awesome.
Yay, congratulations. That is so great. You must feel so accomplished. Yay. Woo.
That's amazing.
$5 from Space Barbarian 3484. Hey, look, I now have proof for the existence of Taylor's guinea pig. Yeah.
Yep, here she blew.
Little girl. Oh, she's really cute. I love her. She's so cuddly.
I know.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching tonight. And thank you, Lux, for producing. We had Dragon, who was screening all of our calls. Thank you to all of our mods in the chat. Shout out to our patrons. And is the thing happening and we can't tell?
I mean, we just have like another 60 seconds to kill.
Oh, okay. Well, so you know what's crazy? I have to go to dinner after this.
Damn, that's a full evening.
I know. I'm so sleepy. I'm so sleepy. And I have to feed the dogs. I'm exhausted. Whatever. It'll be fun. It'll be a nice time. Are you done for the evening? What time zone are you in? Central?
9:30. Yeah, I'm just gonna be doing like work stuff, but yeah, pretty much.
You're on East Coast. Yeah. It's bedtime. It's time for bed. I can't wait to go to sleep. I can't believe I haven't had dinner yet. It feels like it's midnight. Oh my God. I'm gonna go to a nice little bougie place and celebrate something. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
It'll be nice. And also, I can't get over the fact that it's so warm. This is like
I know.
Sorry, go ahead.
It feels warm here too, though. I hate it. It's like 50s.
Really?
Yes, I hate it so much.
Crazy. It's like, actually, that's not even that different than here. It was like 60 this morning. It got warmer through the rest of the day, though. But I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, this is like we're literally talking about weather to burn the time. That's where we're at in all of this. Anyway, everyone have a wonderful rest of your evening. Then good vibes to Potato.
I'm literally so allergic to her. Do you see my neck? And that's why I was wiping my nose literally all night, because I'm just so allergic to them. But I won't stop cuddling them.
She's so cute. We're gonna send good vibes to her. Thank you to everyone who works on the show that I said earlier, and also to our patrons. We love ya, and we'll see you next week. Woo-hoo. Go watch Jimmy's show.